In this video, we'll talk about measuring the spread of data. There are a couple of different spread of data measures. So the first one we're going to talk about is the range. The range is the difference between the max and the min values of a data set. So that's just very simply stated. We've done this before, just not in terms of statistics. So example, find the range of the data set of heights in inches of a preschool class of 3-year-olds. So we've got about 6 here. So we need our max and our min. Our max is 42 inches and our minimum is 26. So we subtract 26 from 42 and we get 16 inches is our range of the data set. Another spread of data measure is our sample variance, which is denoted as S squared. The distance from the sample variance is the distance of each data point is from the mean of the data set. And we know that X bar denotes the mean, N is the number of data points in the set, and Xi is each data point I specified to which point to look at. So we have for our formula, we have S squared equals the sum of I from I equals 1 to N of X subscript I minus the mean squared all over N minus 1. The standard deviation is the average distance of how far each data point is from the mean of the data set. So the standard deviation is just the square root of the sample variance. We have different sizes for the spread of data. If we have a large spread of data, so if we have like anywhere from 0 to 100, that's considered a fairly large spread of data. So we're going to have a large range, we're going to have a large variance, we're going to have a large standard deviation. Whereas if we have from like 10 to 20 is our data set, we're going to have a very small range, a very small variance, a fairly small standard deviation as well. Example, so if we're finding the variance in the standard deviation of the data set we've already looked at. So we take each data point, and how a lot of people typically do this is we do it in tables. So we calculate the mean, which we've already talked about with the measure of central tendency. So our mean is 32.2 inches. And so what we do is we put this in a table. So we put each data point, so 26, 31, 32, 27, 35, and 42. And then we put the mean next to each one of those. We subtract. This is subtracting each point the mean from each point. So we get negative 6.2, negative 1.2, so on and so forth. And then we square each to get a total, and then we add them to get add this last column together to get 170.64. So then we take the number we found, the sum. So to get X squared, we get, or S squared, not X squared. S squared is about equal to 170.6 over 6 minus 1, or 5, which gives us about 34.12 inches is our sample variance. So for our sample standard deviation, we just take the square root of our sample variance. So S equals the square root of 34.12, which gives us about 5.8 inches. So I want you to try this question on your own. So this is back to the 6th grade spelling test results. And I want you to find the sample standard deviation, the sample variance, and the range for this data set, and bring it to class with you.